These niggas be claiming they real. Most of these niggas are not. See, I'm from the land of the truth.
The Hispanic community, whether they're citizens, whether they're residents, we know that the Mexicans, Mexican Americans who live among us are by and large tremendous people, very, very hard-working people, and to hear fat cat politicians say otherwise is just disgusting. And so in this way, myself, as part of the boxing community, where so many of our athletes are Hispanics, are fighting back and making a statement, and we have gathered 3 of the top young Hispanic fighters who will be fighting on this card, which is headlined by Manny Pacquiao and Timothy Bradley on April 9th at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. And we also have one of the men who's fighting one of our Hispanic stars. He's a former champion, and just you can tell what he is thinking, because he goes by the nickname the Mexican Russian. So he's on board in support of us in this great crusade. I'm pleased to again state that the telecast will be distributed on pay-per-view by our friends at HBO, and we have here representing HBO pay-per-view a friend of all of ours, Tony Walker. Tony?
Thanks a lot, Bob, and thank you all for coming today. It's a great day in LA, so we won't keep you too long. Top Rank has put together a special evening of boxing. We've always thought the undercards matter when selling a pay-per-view show, and to have an outstanding group of athletes like this really will make a big difference. We've done a lot of pay-per-view over the years, and the formula for success really hasn't changed that much. You need to have fighters that the public knows, you have to have some expected action in the ring, and you have to have the guys perform. And the outcome has to be in doubt. Abraham Ramirez could headline any cable show on its own. It has all those qualities. And we think all the other fights on the undercard are filled with these young, hungry fighters ready to make their name. And the great thing is they've all worked already to cultivate their home markets. They come from diverse places, you know, Fresno, LA, Mexico, even Germany. And these are not just novices. These guys have sold tickets, they fill arenas, they are budding stars, or stars already in their own right, and we're very happy to have them grace the pay-per-view show. So we ask that you tell your audiences about the great telecast we have on April 9th, and if we don't see you in Las Vegas, you will have a great show. Thank you. It's live at 6 p.m., live on pay-per-view. Thanks.
Thank you, Tony. Well, let's get down to it. Let's talk about these 3 exceptional fights. In one fight, we have a young man from Denver, Colorado, who hopes to ride the success of the Denver Broncos to victory, Manny Perez, who will be fighting in a 10-round fight against Jose Ramirez. Now let me tell you something about Jose. He was a member of the United States Olympic boxing team in the last Olympiad in London. He has been a pro since after that Olympic game, but he has devoted himself to the fight for water in the San Joaquin Valley. Now that's very, very important. The farmers, the agricultural interests up there account for 56% of all agriculture in the United States. And because of some cockeyed environmentalists, they have been gradually squeezed and deprived of water. And water obviously is, without it, you can't grow crops, you can't grow almonds, you can't grow pistachios or bell peppers or anything else. So Jose, who worked as a young man in the fields, has led or has joined this fight, which has been led for years by the Latino Water Coalition. And we have here, I'd like him to say a few words because it's something that is important, dear to the heart of both Jose and also myself, the fight for water in the agricultural areas of California. Please welcome the head of the Latino Water Coalition, Manuel Kona. Manuel.
Thank you very much, Bob. It's a pleasure, exciting to be here. Water is the part of our world. It's the part of our food. And in this country, we grow the greatest and safest food. Over the past years, as Bob described, the environmentalists have dictated and have destroyed many of our rural communities. And people don't realize is that many of our rural communities, Wasco, Avenel, Mendota, Orange Cove, and even if we go to the King City areas of Gonzales and all these areas, agriculture is a part of our life. And many of these workers live there, and that's their life. They've been here for years, and many of the braceros helped. Now we're trying to get rid of that. And so I want to thank Jose, especially, and Bob Aaron, who is the Farmer of the Year. He became Farmer of the Year 2 years ago, and which is incredible. He cares because he doesn't need proctors telling him numbers. He listens and asks. Just doesn't ask one person. He asks a lot of people about information. So also upon all of this water is immigration. Very important part of all of our cultures. And we need to take charge of it because somehow Washington, D.C. is not. And many of these people work hard in our fields. So again, Bob, thank you very much. We look forward for this. I know that in the San Joaquin Valley, Save Mart is a big building on our Fresno State campus, holds about 14,000 people. We filled it completely just about in December 5th of 2015. I think, Bob, we're going to have to go to the big football field to hold something like 30,000 because Jose's making our facilities too small because the people care and want to be a part of what he believes in, Top Rank believes in as well, and farming in our community. So again, thank you so much, Bob, for all the work that you have done and all the boxers who believe in what they've come from and what they've done. So thank you.
Thank you, man. Well, it's really been a great experience for me since we signed Jose to have been a part of this battle because it's really an ongoing battle and it's very, very important. And the people that I've met, the Latino Water Coalition, some of the finest people in this country. And it's been a real privilege for me to be small part of their fight. And now I'd like to introduce the advisor to Jose Ramirez, who helped in a big way put on events in the Valley where, as Manuel said, we packed the Fresno State arena in Jose's last fight. Please welcome Rick Meridian.
Have to thank Top Rank for having the opportunity to get on this HBO card. I believe timing is everything, and over the past 5 fights in the Central Valley where we come from, we've sold out every single building and arena that we've been in, starting with a 3,000 person facility all the way up to a 13,100 person facility, top 10 arena in the United States at SMG. operates and filled it to capacity. And through all that experience, all the work, all the time in and out of the ring that Jose has spent, I think it's prepared him for this opportunity on the world's largest stage, April 9th. And our entire community, when I say entire community, I mean the entire community is behind these fights, the cause, and you wouldn't believe how many tickets we've already sold for April 9th from people coming down from the Central Valley to watch Jose fight. Even a lot of his sponsors, he's probably got 10 to 12 different sponsors. A couple of them are here in attendance today, like Carb City and others that have helped sponsor these fights and put together massive campaigns for Jose. But again, just want to say thanks to Top Rank, and I absolutely believe a star will be born April 9th at the MGM. Thank you.
You know, I've been involved in the sport of boxing, promoting boxing. This is my 50th year. March 29th will mark the 50th year. The first fight was March 29th, 1966, the heavyweight championship, Ali and George Chuvalo. And I learned a lot promoting first Muhammad Ali, great man who made tremendous contribution to the world, very courageous man. And I've had the privilege of working with a lot of fighters. The great Manny Pacquiao, whose charitable endeavors in the Philippines are legendary. Somebody once said that the social welfare system in the Philippines is named Manny Pacquiao because he provides more scholarships, more hospital beds than even the government does. And that's been a great privilege. And then to have a young man like Jose Ramirez, who has known how important agriculture is, who as a young man worked in the fields picking produce, and who joined in this great fight, the great crusade of the Latino Water Coalition to save water and to allow farmers to properly irrigate their crops and their fields. That's wonderful thing for a young man to do. But beside all that, he's a terrific fighter. This will be his first 10-round fight on the card, fighting Manny Perez. So please welcome a member of the United States Olympic boxing team, Jose Ramirez.
Well, first of all, I just want to thank God and Top Rank, my team, my family. Just want to thank them for this opportunity. It's a great honor to be a part of such an amazing card, and I'm more than excited, very motivated to go out there April 9th and showcase my talent to the world. And it's going to be televised, and a lot of people are going to be watching, and I'm very excited. I started training camp early, and I'll be more than ready. We're working with Freddie Roach, working with the best at the wild card, and I'm going to go out there and prove myself as a fighter, and to continue fighting for what I fight for, to continue bringing hope to my communities, to Central California, to all California, to all the Hispanics out there who are fighting daily. I'm going to continue to go in and give my best to set that example for them, that there is hope and that there is people fighting for them, and they're not by themselves, and all these different issues that come across. So April 9th, you will see a fighter who's very motivated, who's going to go out there and be more than ready to give everybody a great shot. Thank you. El 9 de abril estoy muy motivado yo para entregar y le voy a dar todo mi esfuerzo. Le quiero dar las gracias a Dios, le quiero dar gracias a Top Rank, a Bob Arum, a mi equipo por la oportunidad que me han dado de pelear en esta cartelera tan grande, de estar en esa posición donde puedo demostrar mi talento enfrente de todo el mundo. Me siento muy contento, muy motivado, muy orgulloso conmigo mismo por estar en esta oportunidad. El 9 de abril van a ver un boxeador muy motivado, con muchas ganas de entrar y pelear fuerte, continuar, darles esa motivación a toda la gente hispana que está peleando por sus propios motivos, de que sí se puede y vamos a entrar con todo el 9 de abril. Muchas gracias.
Next fight that we're going to talk about is the fight over here. It's a real crossroads fight because it matches a courageous former featherweight champion, Evgeny Gradovich, who you've seen and enjoyed fighting against the #1 contender in the WBO, Oscar Valdez. I mean, these are the kind of fights that boxing fans love because so much is at stake, and they know that the fighters will give it everything they have. Manager of Evgeny, a man who is becoming one of the top managers here in the United States, with a great stable of fighters, Sergey Kovalov, Vasyl Lomachenko, Evgeny, and lots of others. All terrific fighters, all fighters who come to fight. Please welcome Igis Klimas.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, everybody, for coming to this press conference. I want to thank all the media. You guys are doing a very good job. Because looking at my Google alerts right now, just coming to Evgeny Gradovich. I appreciate that. I want to thank HBO pay-per-view giving this opportunity. Then Bob mentioning about the politics. We are under double pressure, because nobody likes Russians and nobody wants Mexicans in this country, right? And he's being Mexican-Russian, so he needs to show more love. Talking about this fight, this is a very good comeback for Evgeny Gradovich. At one point, he was already losing hope. What's next? What we're gonna do? He lost the title, that title was a questionable loss. We went to England and he was stopped because of a cut, and knowing Evgeny, he's always a better fighter in the later rounds. And I'm going to let Robert Garcia to explain that. And he comes in the corner after 4th round, he says, now I'm warmed up, now I can fight. Very big step, very big test for Oscar Valdez as well. So basically this is going to be a very good fight. So don't miss it, even come to Vegas or watching the pay-per-view at the HBO. Thank you.
Thank you, Igis. And now, one of the great trainers in boxing, the trainer of Evgeny Gradovich. Please welcome Roberto Garcia.
Thank you, Bob. Good afternoon to everybody. Thank you all for coming up and showing the sport. Just being part of this pay-per-view event, we want to thank HBO pay-per-view for putting this show together. It's a great undercard that's going to be shown on TV. Something that we haven't seen lately on these big pay-per-view events, and having fighters like Ramirez, a young prospect who's doing really good, be on the event, and then of course Abraham versus Zurdo Ramirez, which is going to be a hell of a fight. Putting these fights together are great. And then we have, of course, a young two-time Olympian who has a tremendous future, great team behind him against my fighter, Gradovich. It's going to be a great fight, and the only ones that are going to enjoy a great show and a great fight are going to be the fans. We know it's not an easy fight. We know Valdez is very talented. Like I said, he's got a great team behind him, great trainers, great management team. So we are going to be very well prepared. but so does Gradovich. You know, Gradovich has been in wars before, and he's shown the world that he's there to fight. So we started training camp already, and we're gonna go out there to do what we do best and give the fans a great fight. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. And now I'd like to call to the microphone the former world champion, a guy who always gives 1,000%. I mean, you watch Gradovich fight, you're always entertained. Please give a round of applause to Evgeny Gradovich.
Hi everybody, hola a todos. Very glad to be part of this pay-per-view show and HBO. Thanks HBO for this opportunity. Thanks Top Rank, my manager Regis Klimas, my team, Robert Garcia Boxing Academy. I hope it will be a good fight for everybody who will watch, and we will be ready. The Mexican Russian. Thank you so much.
Now I'd like to introduce to you the manager of Oscar Valdez. Remember, Oscar was a two-time Olympian for the Mexican team. He's performed tremendously as a professional, and he's guided by one of the great managers in the sport today. I'd like him to come up to the microphone, Frank Espinosa.
Thank you, Bob. You might remember this quote, Bob. Muhammad Ali once said, "Champions are not made in the gyms. Champions are made from something deep inside them. A desire, a dream, and a vision." On April 9th, we're going to witness a boxer that has that desire, is living his dream, and whose vision of a world title is not that far away. That boxer is none other than Oscar Valdez. Oscar has what I like to call the X factor. It can't be taught. It's just what you are. Oscar will be stepping in the ring with the former world champion Gradovich, also known as the Mexican Russian. Valdez is up to the challenge. This fight is going to set the stage for the next step in Oscar's career. He's been unstoppable so far, and being a world champion by the end of the year is a very real possibility. Oscar's proud to call Nogales, Sonora, Mexico home. And as a two-time Mexican Olympian, he aims to make his home proud. With an 18-0 record, it's no wonder the WBO has Valdez ranked #1. Being on the undercard of this huge event only shows that he is in the peak of his career. We're happy to be here, and I want to thank Val Baron for making this happen, and HBO for showcasing our talent. And lastly, Executive Vice President Peter Nelson for his role in shaping how HBO brings boxing to you. April 9th will be a night to remember. Oscar will put up a fight that you'll never forget, because that is what champions do. Thank you.
Thanks. And now, Frank, we're going to hear from Oscar's chief trainer, Manuel Robles.
Thank you, Bob. Top Rank, of course, and HBO for this great opportunity. I truly believe that this fight is going to steal the show. This will be a great fight, and we've already, started camp and in the gym for a couple of weeks now, and we're exactly where we want to be, and we're moving along very, very well. All I can say is that Oscar's going to come in 100% great shape, mentally, physically, and we're ready to go out there and give a good performance. Thank you.
6 weeks ago I had the great opportunity to attend a Udamas fight show at the convention center in Tucson, Arizona. As you know, Tucson is the home of the University of Arizona. It's a great, great town. And they welcomed Oscar Valdez as a hometown hero. Oscar attended school for a time in Tucson, and of course the town of Nogales is just about 45 minutes away from Tucson, and we had all the officials from Nogales, the mayor, the vice mayor, all came to Tucson to watch him fight. So he is extraordinarily popular, as he should be, in Mexico, because he represented with great pride and style the Mexican Olympic boxing team for 2 Olympiads. When he turned professional, all the boxing fans in Mexico followed expectantly his career, which, as Frank says, to this day has been tremendous. He's done everything asked of him. He's gone through opponents on various levels as he's progressed. He's a terrific young man and a terrific fighter, and he doesn't have to worry. Now, he's a Mexican. He doesn't have to worry, because I'm not going to let Donald Trump get a hold of his check to build the wall. We'll get the check to you, Frank. So please welcome one of the great young fighters today, Oscar Valdez.
First of all, I want to thank Bob, once again, Top Rank, my team, for giving me this great opportunity, once again, fighting such a great card, like Bradley and Pacquiao. I'm just motivated for a lot of reasons. One of the reasons is this great card. A lot of people are going to watch this fight. It's just another opportunity to show who Oscar Valdez is. Second of all, I'm fighting a great fighter. To this day, I know he's my toughest opponent. I've seen Granovich fight before. I know he's a very tough fighter. It's not going to be easy. Like he said, he has a great team behind him. We don't got to sell this fight. Me talking about him, he talking about me. We all know his style. He's a fan-pleasing style. I can also fight like that. So we could all expect a good fight. I got a great team behind me, Manny Robles, Frank Espinosa, my father in my corner. We all do a great team in the gym. And like my trainer says, we win the fights in the gym. Every day, we take day by day, working on something different. And we're going to try to show that this April 9th. So, like I said, I'm very excited for this fight. I want to once again thank Top Rank for giving me this great opportunity. I know if I win this fight clear, I'm going to be up there with a step forward to fight for a world title. I'm very excited for that. That's my dream since I was 9 years old, and hopefully one day do it. So I want to thank everyone for coming. Just want to say to my fans, stay tuned for this April 9th, because I'm gonna give my best. Thank you. Primeramente quiero agradecer a toda la gente que vino aquí. Segundo, a Bob Arum, a la empresa Top Rank, a HBO, mi equipo que me respalda bastante. Estoy muy agradecido por la oportunidad que se me está presentando. Es otra oportunidad para enseñar quién es Oscar Valdez, ¿no? Una cartelera muy buena donde va a estar mi amigo José Ramírez, que ya está a un paso de cumplir su sueño, llegar a ser campeón mundial. Tengo mucha fe que lo va a lograr. Uno de mis boxeadores favoritos, Timothy Bradley, va a pelear en el retiro con Manny Pacquiao, así que es una muy buena cartelera. Así que estoy muy agradecido con la empresa que me da la oportunidad de participar en esta cartelera. Yo sé que mucha gente va a ver esta pelea del retiro de Pacquiao, y para eso van a tener que ver nosotros la cartelera. José Ramírez, Zurdo Ramírez y Oscar Valdez contra Granovich. Es una buena oportunidad para que la nueva era demuestre quién es quién. Así que, como digo, estoy muy motivado por esta pelea. Ya empezamos el campamento, vamos a dar todo esto de nuevo. Más que decirle a la gente que esperen espero una gran pelea, porque todos sabemos que Bradley es un gran boxeador que va para adelante, y por mi estilo creo que va a ser una pelea que a todos les va a gustar. Muchas gracias.
And finally, the third fight that we're talking about today will be a world title fight. Not just any world title fight. It's a fight for the super middleweight championship of the world. The WBO super middleweight champion is Arthur Abraham, who fights out of Germany. He's one of the most popular fighters in Germany. He's held the title for a number of years. He's a terrific fighter. He gives a tremendous performance. And he's being challenged by a young man from Mazatlan, 24 years of age, who, if he's successful and wins the championship, will be the first Mexican fighter to win a world championship in any division as high as super middleweight. Never been Mexican heavyweight champion, light heavyweight champion, or super middleweight champion. So this is groundbreaking for Mexico and for the Mexican fans. Now, Gilberto is a young man, 24, but he's been through a lot of wars. When he and the Zaparis signed him with Top Rank, we hope that he would develop the Olympians and then go into the professional ranks. Gilberto went another way. He worked for most of his professional boxing career, as Jesus said. He's performed admirably in the ring. He's very, very exciting fighter. And we are sure that if he wins this big fight with Arthur Abraham and becomes champion, he will be one of the biggest superstars in boxing, both for Mexico and for the Hispanics living in the United States. So please welcome Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Buenas tardes a todos. Primero que nada, quiero agradecer a Dios por la oportunidad, a Bob Arum, a Top Rank, HBO, a todos por esta gran oportunidad que se me presenta.
First of all, I want to thank God for being here. I want to thank everyone involved with the event, HBO, Bob Top Rank, everyone that made this possible.
Bueno, yo creo que de antemano todos sabemos que es una gran cartelera. Las peleas de abajo también son muy competitivas. Para mí esta pelea es el sueño de mi vida, es por todo lo que he luchado en mi carrera boxística. Gracias a Dios, a mi equipo de trabajo y a todos que se llega la oportunidad esperada, ¿no?
Obviously, this is a great card from top to bottom. A lot of good fights here, a lot of good fighters. This is the fight of my life. This is what I worked so hard to get the opportunity to fight for a world title, and that's what I'm here for.
Por esto soñé toda mi vida, desde muy chico. Todos los días me levanto pensando en Arthur Abraham, me duermo, como, todo el día. Estamos disfrutando, ¿no? Estamos disfrutando este campamento más que nada, esta oportunidad, porque queremos ese título, queremos hacer historia en México.
You know, every time I wake up in the morning, I think of Abraham. When during the day, when I'm training, when I'm eating, when I go to bed at night, all I think is Abraham. 24/7. This is a fight of my life. This is the opportunity of my life.
No vamos a decepcionar a nadie, nos vamos a llevar ese título, queremos quitarle lo que él tiene. Ese título sabemos que ha hecho varias defensas, que no pierde desde el 2013, pero nosotros estamos trabajando mejor que nunca para llevarnos ese título a casa.
We know what we're up against. Obviously, he's a great fighter, hasn't lost since 2013. We know what he's done as a professional, but this is what I dream for. This is what I work for. I'm not going to let it go. No Mexican is going disappointed that night. We're all going to win.
Siempre estamos activos, ¿no? Desde diciembre, desde que supimos esta noticia, hemos estado bien concentrados, enfocados en esto y pues nada más vamos a aprovechar el momento, disfrutar arriba del ring, hacer lo que sabemos hacer, pelearnos, a dar lo mejor de mí arriba del ring y pues le quiero invitar a la gente que no se pierdan esta pelea. Va a haber primero Dios, un campeón nuevo. Eso es lo que más deseo en esta vida.
Like I said, no one's going to be disappointed. I want to win that title for everyone, for all the Mexicans. It's a historic night, and that's what we're going to work for. I'm enjoying this training camp like no other before. I'm enjoying getting ready for this fight because that night I'm going to enjoy winning that title.
Muchas gracias a todos, gracias a Bobaro también. Le quiero dar las gracias y no se pierdan esta pelea.
I want to thank everyone. I want to thank Bob Arrow. Please don't miss this fight.
Gracias.
Tickets are on sale now. Over 12,000 of the tickets have been sold. So that leaves about 2,500 or so tickets left. They're in all prices, 1,200, 800, 600, 400, and 250. The 150s are all sold, but we're going to have a sellout, so this is a good time to get tickets before they're all gone. We go from here to Mexico. We have a big press conference at TV Azteca tomorrow morning at the studios of TV Azteca. And Fernando Beltran has told me that the entire sport press corps in the Mexico City area will be at the press conference, so it's going to be great, and we look forward to visit our Mexican friends. Also, the fighters, Evgeny trains in Oxnard, and Oscar and Gilberto, I think, train at the same gym in California. Carson, California. And Jose will be training at the Wild Card in Hollywood. So we're going to do some media days for them, as well as, of course, for the main event fighters. Timothy Bradley will be training in Palm Springs, and Manny will start training camp. He started training camp in General Santos, and will move his training camp to the Wild Card around the 1st of March. So I want to thank you all for coming. We have plenty of time to spend here because we're not due to go to the airport till about 3 o'clock. The fighters are going to do some satellite broadcasts. This is tremendous. You know, it's great for young fighters to start breaking into satellite broadcasts. You know, now they're beginning to smell what the big time is like. And that's great. And so thank you all for coming. It's going to be a great, great event on April 9th. Thank you.
Give me some room so I can slide back.
Hector, you clear the back a little bit to the side? Thank you. A little bit closer, guys. Straight up forward, please. Very good.
Real square business, real talk. I've only just begun. Talk to him, real talk.